Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today in this video we will set up the routing and try to register a user with the API. So let's get started. Okay, so firstly we need to create another file like this for our API. So let's create a new file with the name of api.js, and let's copy these two from index. And now let's also create a controller in which we will create all the functions related to authentication. So in the controller, let's create another folder with the name of API, and in that API we will create a file with the name usercontroller.js. Okay, and in the usercontroller.js we will create a function. It will be exports dot sign up, and this will be a async function. And here we have our request and response parameters. And okay, so we have created a function with the name of signup, and let's assign a routing. So we will say router.post signup, and let's import that user controller. App controllers API and user controller, and here we will call the user controller dot signup method for this routing. Now let's register this api.js into app.js. So like these two, we will use the same app.use. So our API should be called for any of the routing that contains /API. So /API URL, our api.js should run. So API router equal to route/API. Okay, and here for every /API URL it will go to API router, and here it will find the functions accordingly. Okay, so let's test it first. Okay, so for testing our API we will use, okay, I think there is some error. I think something is breaking. Here our API Okay, so we need to, yeah, we need to do this as well. Yeah. Okay, so now let's test this API. So it will be a post route, and let's check if our server is running. Yes, server is working. Okay, so we cannot use as here. Sorry, my bad. Okay, now it is giving us the error of 404 not found. Okay, let's see what's going on. We have sign up route here. Okay, so we have our API router, and then we have API. Okay, so we also need to add this also. Let's just, okay, now so our API is working fine. So now let's uh, work on the sign up. And I think I have made a typo here. Okay, now we need to also set up some validation rules for the request. So for that we will use node input validator. Why it is not showing anything? Okay, so we will use the async await here. So let's include it at the top, and now we will have some validations. So const v equals to new validator. Here we will pass our request body, and then we need to define the validation rules. So we have the name field, and name should be required, and length will be 2 something, and max length for name is, let's do 45 for now, name, and then we have email, required and should be an email. Then we have a password field, and password will be required, and minimum length for password is, let's 8, and max length should be 45. Okay, so we have set up our validation, and let's now check. Let's see what we can need to check. So let's use this as it is, const matched equals to v dot check. So it will give us a result in true or false format. So let's see if matched means our validation is passed, then this, else we will send the user response dot status will be 422, which is a processable entity, and then we will pass a JSON with a status of false, and message will be validation error, and we will pass the errors also in the data key. So we will get v dot errors. Okay, so let's try this now. We will call the same API. Okay, so now validation error we received because we haven't passed anything, name, email, or password. We haven't passed anything. Okay, so now if validation is succeeded, then what we need to do is let's see if validation is passed. Console.log request.body. Okay, before that we also need to add a middleware multer so that we can pass the form data. So for that, let's use multer here. Let's see the documentation for multer. Const multer, and also we need to use this as well. Let's remove this for now, and we will use use upload.array, so it will pass the form data. And now we have consoled. Okay, now let's send these parameters. So we will pass the body, name will be Ajay, password will be 9. Okay, so it is still giving us error. Okay, let's see what's happening. False, I think. Still we are not able to parse. Let's try to cut it here, here, else we can try now. Okay, now it is working. So we have got an object with the name, email and password. Okay, so now as we have got the email, let's get these in different variables, name, email, and we have password to body. Okay, now so first we need to before registering the user, we need to check if the user is already not exist. So before that, let's import the database also here. So can say start index, and now we can query the data like this. Okay, so we have imported the database. Let's first check if our database is working or not. So what we will do is let's create a variable for check db.users.find1, and here we will pass where email is request.body.email. And now let's see what will be the result. So it is giving us null. It means we do not have any records in the database with this email. So now I think it is working fine. So let's see if check if there is any record, then we will send the status of 200, but the status should be will be false, and message user already exists. And if there is no user exist in the database, we will create one. So before inserting the user, we need to also encrypt the password, user password. So like we cannot save the password directly in raw format. So for that we will use a package named sequelize encrypt. We'll use this package. So let's install this first. Okay, so now I think we need to install. Okay, we will not use this one. We will use Okay, so we will use this one, not sequelize encrypt, but we will use sequelize decrypt. Yeah, we will install, we'll use this one. So it is official package by sequelize. So let's uninstall that. Now install sequelize decrypt. Okay, after installing this, we need to use this in our model. In our user model, we will use this. Okay, so here let's import use decrypt and follow these steps. And we need to use this one, use decrypt. Before returning use decrypt user and options will be these. So our field name round and compare to authentication. Okay, now our password will be encrypted before saving automatically. Okay, so now let's create the user. So for creating the user, let's say variable user equals to await db dot users dot create, and we need to pass a name which will be request dot body dot name and email be request dot body dot email and password. And after this we can return post.json status will be true and message will user created successfully, and as a data we can send the user details. And also let's use a try catch here in case of any error. So in case of error you can say response dot status 500 dot json message will be error dot message. So now let's try to run, and node start to start the server. Now let's run the API. Okay, so we got it, status is true, message user created, and we have the status, we have the user details. So let's also check in our database if the user is registered or not. Our database name is node.js API. We have users table. Okay, so now we have the name, email, password, and status. But why we don't have any UUID? Why it is not get inserted? Let's see what happened for UUID. UUID before. Okay, so instead of default, we need to set here a default value. Let's try to. Okay, user already exists, so we need to first delete that user from our database. Just delete and let's try it again. Okay, so now this time we also have a UUID, name, email, password, and the status, and created and updated it, inserted automatically by our sequelize ORM. So this is how we will create an API for register. So you guys can add the email verification functionality, but we can do that things later. So this is how we can create an API, REST APIs for our mobile applications. And in the next video we will try to create an API for login, and we will use JWT for that. So thank you everyone, thank you so much, and do not forget to subscribe, like and share my YouTube channel. Thank you.